Hey, what's up guys? Brian here, Brian's All Maintenance. Trust you guys are doing well. We're going to talk about the Ferris Z3X. Check it out. All right guys, so let me do this for you guys for just a few minutes here. I want to talk to you guys about the Ferris Z3X demo, and I want to talk to you guys for just a few minutes how the mower went. This is right now, it's Thursday evening. I have to drop this off tomorrow morning right back here at 9 a.m. I'm going to drop it back off to Craig, but for time's sake, and we actually got rain moving in the morning, I'm going to do the debrief for you guys right here, right now, and just do a little walk around of the mower. Most of you guys know that I am in the market for a new mower, and I'm really leaning towards the stand-on game, and I'm really looking forward to trying out all the different lawnmowers. As most of you guys know right now, we've already been through the Skag V-Ride 2, the Husqvarna, we've got the Ferris, we've got the Turf Tiger 2, which is a zero turn, but we've been going through so many. There's so many more to come as well, so I'll make sure to leave links in the description and cards at the end of the video. You can check out all of the rest of them. But what I wanted to do is give you guys a debrief on the Z3X. You know, it's funny, I really appreciate the two-way communication and the two-way street, I always call it, that YouTube is. Let's be honest with you. You guys add 100 to 400 comments per video, and I get a lot of data, a lot of feedback from you guys. In fact, so much so where I didn't even really know the Ferris name, the Ferris brand. I had talked to Alex Nickens from Nickens Lawn and Landscape, but that's pretty much the extent I knew about Ferris in the lawn and landscape industry. But I will say this, because of all of you guys, after testing out a couple other mowers, a lot of you guys seemed like it was a fan favorite was the new Ferris Z3X. So I reached out to Ferris and vice versa, and in less than 2 weeks, I said this on a previous video where Craig dropped it off, they mobilized and they got us one of their stand-ons, and you know what? I can see why so many of you guys really enjoy using the Ferris. Let me give you guys my honest assessment, my honest opinion. This isn't paid endorsement or advertising in any way or shape or form. I'm just literally hanging out here in the back of a cul-de-sac being a weirdo with a camera. But let me show you guys some things that I like about the mower, a couple nuances I don't like because everybody's got them and I'm a nitpicker. But let me show you guys what I like about the mower and give you guys my honest assessment, my honest feedback. So let's start off overall with how did I enjoy the demo. Number one, I will say I enjoyed it a lot. This is a really stout lawnmower. No hype, no fanfare, no promo. Here's why I don't want to be +1 on this kind of a video is because, guys, if I put my own money into this thing is 10.4, and I'm not gonna waste your guys' time telling you that something's awesome if it sucks. Now, if it's a hand tool, I know you guys got your opinion, you got your opinions, I've got mine, but in $200 and $300 world, that's not, the grand scheme of things, it's not a lot of money. But when you're dropping $10,000, $12,000 on zero turns and stand-on mowers, like, I wanna shoot you guys as straight as possible because that's a lot of money still to me. $10,000, that's a lot of money, especially if we're gonna have this for the next 2 to 4 or 5 years. We wanna make sure that it's working great, that it's a performer, and I don't wanna BS you guys on videos like this. So I really enjoyed the unit. I'm gonna shoot you guys straight. I wanna know if you guys are watching this far in, if you guys prefer the Skag V-Ride 2 or the Ferris Z3X. So that's my question for you on this video, because that's basically what I'm bouncing back and forth right now. So far, that's all I've used, which is kind of funny, but I will say this, we got the Gravely Pro stance and the Toro Grandstand coming, if those videos already haven't posted. But so far, this thing has been a tank. Now, let me show you a couple of reasons why. I'm gonna do a little walk around here. For the record, we've got 51 hours on it. I got this mower, it had 25, 26. So this was in 4 days worth of mowing. This is what we put on the unit, 25 hours. Pretty average for us, I guess, whatever. So let me talk about 3 big components to the whole mower. We'll talk about the cut quality and the performance. I'm gonna talk about the Vanguard engine and then the ergonomics with the platform and the comfortability. First things first is that I really would say that the deck quality is an A-. I wouldn't say it's the best cut that's out there right now. I would give that to the Skag Velocity 2, or whatever they call it, the Skag Velocity Plus deck. But this deck still performed very well. There was nothing really wrong with it. There was a couple stragglers when the blades were dull, but realistically, it cut grass and we were cutting some thick stuff. We got some really good rain, and there's a couple times I had to double cut backyards because they were getting pretty thick and lush. But I would have expected that with my Laser Z, the Skag V-Ride 2, or the Turf Tiger 2, or even, you know, the Husqvarna, if you will. So the cut quality was pretty good. I'd give it an A-. I wouldn't say it's the best cut quality out. I think that's going to be reserved for that Skag Velocity deck. But it did a really good job. Like, way more past the bar, whatever you want to call it. It's I wouldn't say good enough because it was better than that, but totally acceptable. Week to week, this would be no problem on my lawns. The stripe game though was on point. It definitely striped. If you guys are on Instagram, you guys saw me posting a ton of videos because, man, it was laying some really, really nice stripes. I didn't have to necessarily double cut to get those stripes, and the big wide chunky tires, it just rolled that grass over, looked beautiful. A bunch of those photos and posts. So the stripe game, the deck, everything went really, really good. I did sharpen the blades once on my own. They were easy to take off. Honestly, one of the easier ones to take off. And you know what? It was really, really smooth and convenient, and it wasn't really a hassle, which I really appreciate. The next thing let's talk about is that 37 horse Vanguard with the oil guard system. I don't know what else to say. I'm not really an engine guy or an engineer, but I will say this. It just hummed along the whole time. It was so smooth. I never felt like it was getting bogged down. I never felt like it was drooping. But the 37, more than enough power, way more than enough power than I probably would ever need. But I will say this, after buying a couple lawnmowers now, here's what I would tell you guys: buy the biggest engine that you can. For the most part, there's always a rule of thumb in there, but for the most part, buy the biggest engine you could afford at the time, because you're always going to need that extra horsepower and that extra power, and you're going to be glad you had it when you do run into those circumstances where you do have to mow some tall grass or double cut in the spring with those lush conditions. So for the most part, that 37, that was on point. The oil guard system, I haven't had too much experience with that. You guys already saw that video, but it just seems like a really awesome technological advancement for the lawnmower game. And hey, if you don't have to change oil for every 300 to 500 hours, that sure beats changing it once a month, because I do that right now on my Laser Z, and at $30, $40 an oil change or whatever it is, that adds up, and it's downtime. It's time I got to invest in, you know, a bunch of filters, 5 or 6 filters a year. So, you know, for what it's worth, I like the oil guard system. So the engine was legit, the mowing cut quality was good, and let's talk about the ergonomics, the comfort, because I know a lot of you guys are probably gonna have the same question that I do, is standing versus sitting, standing versus sitting. And that's another future video that, if it hasn't posted already, I'll leave a card and a link in the description. But with standing on the mower all day, I feel great. Like, I don't have any fatigue at all from my knees, my ankles, my thighs. Now, I'm a little sore to a degree because, you know, I had to get kind of broken into the unit, and you know, you use different muscles. But that was kind of last week, because I put this through its paces on Thursday, Friday. I got to recuperate on the weekend, and now we're 4 days in, worked 4 10s, and we're doing pretty good. I don't feel like fatigued. I don't feel, honestly, anything. I feel a little in the wrist, you know, just doing the arm pivot, you know, with the hands, I should say. But that was expected because I don't do that all day long. Let me show you guys a couple things that I really liked and really appreciated, because this is a huge selling point for me, and I know you guys will appreciate this. This platform, the dampening, you've got this little dampening system here with a spring, super comfortable. Most of them, it's just a nice platform, maybe on some springs, but this one had this huge coil here, and it just, honestly, I felt like it just took a lot of the shock and absorption away, more than anything else that I've used so far. Number 2 was the pad. I wouldn't say it's overly comfortable, but it's comfortable enough, and it was really, really nice. The selling point for me was the bolstered sides. It really helps when you're going around a tree, or when you were blowing with the blower on the side, kind of keeping you in that tight space, especially if you're leaned into the unit. I just felt like that bolstering on the pad was just a little extra one, a little +1, and I appreciate those little nuances. Other things that I really like, this is shaved pretty low. Swing sets were not getting caught on this as much as some of the other units, where this pops up 3 or 4 inches. Same thing when the swing set comes up here. You got this guard up here that nothing was really getting caught behind it, which I appreciate. I thought this made me a little nervous, but it was really nice, because if anything did come and hit this, whether it was a tree branch or a swing set seat, it just kind of cascaded off, and it was no big deal. Now, there are a couple things. What else was I gonna say? The tires, super grippy. In fact, I do have some footage where we mowed one of the steeper hills that I have on a client. He's got a huge drainage ditch, retention ditch, I don't know what you guys call it. Just a little creek down there, a little creek. And basically, it just gets so much water where we can barely ever take the zero turn on it, because I'm afraid it's gonna go straight into the little creek. Now, I will tell you this, the footage that I show you guys right here, I had the PTO disengaged, and we were not mowing, we were already done mowing, so I was being as safe as I could. Don't encourage you guys to do like extreme mowing testing and footage and try to put it to the, you know, its pinnacle of you know, its breaking point, and especially on hills, that's extremely dangerous. But I will say this, the gription, the traction, I don't know if gription's a word, the traction, I just felt so safe and comfortable on the wider hill, on the hills with the wider footprint, the wider stance. I was joking with Craig when we first shot this video, the drop-off video, and this was probably like 58 inches, 59 inches wide. I don't have an exact for you, but just look at the stance. It was extremely responsive, I guess the best word for it, when I was on hills. It's literally almost the width of the mower deck. And you know what, it just, when you were right here centered and you had the little, I could feather the handles, it just felt like, I don't know, it just felt like it fit like a glove. I don't know if that makes any sense. So everything else, pretty straightforward. One thing I really liked was the pivoting front caster. This is huge for me in subdivisions with those boulevards. I felt like this contoured the front boulevard way better than anything else I've used. When I came over a boulevard, I didn't feel like I was, you know, getting flipped up or one side with the mower, because this kind of like rolled through it. It kind of contoured. And so if you guys don't know, this whole front axle here kind of pivots, and you know, just that 2-3 inches can make a huge difference when you are zipping off a boulevard and the one wheel on the front is like, you know, attached to the ground, and the other one's just kind of riding up, and then it clacks down and it clacks down, and you know, that's kind of tough. It's a little jolty. Well, no big deal, right? Until you do it 40-50 times a day. Or I should say 40-50 lawns a day, 200-300 times a day, right? That adds up on your knees and all those little jolt kind of scenarios. So I really liked the front caster axle that can flex and twist. That was really cool. Mowing tall grass footage. This is with the Ferris Z3X. Two things. One, I wanted to do this test, so I did it fairly to Husqvarna. And then number two, I wanted to also say that I take full responsibility and liability for this mower. Number three, please don't do this and please don't try this. I just wanted to show you guys mowing some tall grass. Yes, I understand we'll probably never mow a field like this with this kind of mower, but this is the extreme side of testing. Let's just see the volume of the deck, what it can push out, and I'll show you guys how it makes a couple passes. I will say this, these blades are definitely not as sharp as they probably should be to do a test like this. I've got 2 days worth of mowing on them. We probably cut about 60 or 70 lawns through that process, and so the blades are not sharp. They're sharp enough, should do a good job. I was just mowing with this a couple hours ago, but nonetheless, let's go mow some grass and show you guys how it does. By the way, this is at 4.5 inches, 4.5. Guys, so let me show you really quick what we got going on. This is with dull blades, 37 Vanguard. All right, here's one thing I'm going to tell you guys. I have come to learn that Husqvarna is not in the same class or category or whatever you guys want to call it as the Ferris Z3X, okay? In fact, what I will tell you guys is that this engine, 37 horse Vanguard, 61-inch deck, the Husky was like a 14.5, something like that. I don't even know, whatever engine it was. But it wasn't designed for anything like this. Neither was this guy. But this right here, this Ferris, and same thing with like the right stander, they're meant to go through stuff that's kind of this crazy. Let's just be honest with you. So the Husky took it on the chin. I still think that it needs to have a much beefier engine. All things being said, let me show you guys the pass really quick. So this is with dull blades, man. And I wouldn't say dull, I'd still go cut a subdivision lawn right now with these. Obviously a subdivision style lawn, only taking a ½ inch off, but this isn't bad at all. In fact, it did way better than the brush hog that they brought through here just a couple days ago, so might as well have just mowed it with a Ferris. Let me do another pass for you guys just to be fair. We'll definitely do a demo against the right stander. If you guys want to see a right stander demo, leave me a comment down below. I know a lot of you guys were asking that, so let me go do one more test. Put the camera here. 4.5 inches, let's go check it out. Seems to be pretty much the same. So here you go, guys. Honestly, with dull blades, I feel like this cut better than the X mark and the Skag. Not too bad at all. So what do you guys think? This is the Ferris Z3X mowing tall grass portion of the little video. Looking good. Not too bad. All right, so let me take a few minutes here and show you guys the things that I did not like about the mower, the things I disliked. Now, I'm a little bit of a nitpicker with kind of this stuff, and you know what? They're little things. Honestly, nothing here was really a deal breaker. So let me show you guys a couple pieces on the unit that I did not like. Number one, the foot operator platform here. I feel like it should have little cutouts here. I don't know what you guys call it. This should be having the option for this grass and debris to go through there. I get that our feet are right here, but realistically, I can't get my foot all the way up there because of this plate. So why don't we just cut this out so grass, debris, dirt, water, everything can kind of flush through, and we are good to go with that. So it's not a deal breaker by any means, but that was annoying because there's always grass on this platform. Number two, I feel like the fuel gauge was kind of an afterthought. If you guys can see that right there, through that hole, you can't see it. You know why you can't see it? Because I can't see it, okay? That's through the camera. There's a fuel, that's funny. There's a fuel gauge right here, and I don't know why. All right. For $30, $40, $50 right here, I got you guys in the ring game, right? I'm losing all credibility on this review. There should be a fuel gauge right here that... That's funny. All right, seriously, get back to business. There should be a fuel gauge right here versus it being down there where you can't see it. I actually ran out of gas 2 or 3 times with the unit while I was mowing because I just couldn't monitor it. What else we got? This right here, this red light, this is the QU that you are able to start the mower or something like that. I don't even know what this red light's for. I'm sure some engineer was like, hey, we need a red light. No, you don't. No, you don't need a red light. The other thing here is that I feel like this right here should have a huge spring helping with the deck assist. Honestly, this deck is way too heavy to just pull if you don't want to scalp a lawn, so it should have something here for that as well. This is pretty heavy, even for this guy. You know, got the gun show, right? The last thing I'll say is that I feel like the gas tank and the whole deck assist lever itself are on the wrong side. I feel like the gas tank should be on the left, and I feel like the deck assist should be on the right. Most people are right-handed. If I'm gonna pull that lever up so I don't scalp the lawn, I'd probably wanna pull it up with my right hand. I got used to it, obviously, during the week. Frankly, I never pulled this right here, this lever, because the deck is just too heavy to pull, especially with the blades on and the baffle, the suction. This deck weighs too much. You know who had a really good one? The Husqvarna one. Slate that more for what it was, but you know what? They had it really figured out with that spring assist to bring it back up. So I really appreciate that. I think the bungee cable, it's kind of cheap. I feel like this is a last minute idea. They come up with a bungee cable for the battery cover. Like, what is this? I don't know. A screw with a bolt? Like, did we run out of money when we were making this thing? At the end, they're like, well, that's all you get. Figure it out. I got a bungee cable. Having fun, guys. Relax. All right. What do I know, right? I'm just some guy that cuts lawns up in Michigan. All right, one other thing I wanted to show you guys, and this is actually pretty cool, and you guys saw this on the drop-off video. I don't think I've seen this on too many other mowers. This right here is for your cruise control. Kind of a cool little design. So that way, if you have smaller hands, or if you just want to limit the speed of the unit, you can shrink this, and now you don't have to reach out as far. For me, I had it set to the second most position, so that way I was doing this all day. Now, I will say this, if you have it all the way forward, you'll probably get 90% of the ground speed, which is probably 9 or 10 miles an hour. I think the total ground speed was maybe 10 or 12 miles per hour. The Skag V-Ride 2, I feel like, was a little bit faster. That right there is a little shout out and plug for my friend Elliot with Tool in Hand Construction on Instagram. If you guys don't follow him, he's one of Stanley Dirt Monkeys guys, really cool kid. But he couldn't even get his hands all the way across. He had really tiny hands, but whatever. So shout out to you, Elliot. All right, guys, so that's, you guys like to have fun, hang out. It's cool hanging out with all you guys, right? Relax, don't throw stones. All right, so that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the Ferris. What else we got? If you guys have any questions, leave them down below. Love to hear your guys' thoughts. This is the Ferris Z3X. It retails for $10,400. Might be a couple deals out there and discounts out there right now. I want to say a big shout out and thank you to all of you guys who suggested it. And number two, I want to say a big shout out and thank you to Alex Nickens, who spent about 45 minutes with me on the phone the other day talking to me about Ferris and the Ferris brand and warranty and just all the stuff that he's been dealing with in a good way. He's been using Ferris for the handful of years, and he's tried different brands and went back to Ferris. So I want to say a big shout out and thank you to Mr. Alex Nickens. If you guys don't know him, go check out his channel on YouTube. But all things being said, thank you to Pace, thank you to Craig, thank you to Ferris, thank you to all of you guys for suggesting the mower. This was a fantastic demo. Again, we picked it up in 25 hours. We have 51 on it. And it just hummed along, man. It was a great mower, nothing bad to say about it. I don't want to do like a rating system just yet because we're gonna lump all these together. But if I had to say, this would get an A-. This is a good mower. I can see why you guys like it. So leave me a comment down below. Love to hear your guys' thoughts. What do you guys think about the Ferris Z3X? You guys hate it, like it? If you guys have one with some hours on it, that's what I'm always interested in knowing. Brand new mowers are always fun, but I'd like to know if you guys have 200, 300, 400, 500 hours on the unit. How's it working so far? How has warranty been for you guys? And all that little fun stuff. So, all right, guys, that's it. That's my Z3X debrief. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did, shoot it a big thumbs up. I really appreciate that. Don't forget to subscribe if you guys are new. I'm always teaching you guys how to run a hopefully more successful lawn and landscape business and hang out, have fun with you guys. All right, over and out. Brian here, Brian's Lawn Maintenance. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.